Now, the indicators and oscillators we're going to be using in this training is the Williams trailing stops, the EMAs, and your EMAs, you want it to be your 5 EMA, 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 100 EMA, and 200 EMA. You could set the color of your lines how you want. That's up to you, but you need to have these EMAs. And as for the oscillators, you need your stock RSI, your RSI, and your MACD. So now that we know which indicators and oscillators we're going to be using during this training, we can now begin. So rule number 1, never buy on day 1. Here's why. On day 1, people all buy, the candle goes positive, a lot of buying pressure, and during that same day, there's most often a dump. And then, here's what happens, right? Things go down. So if you would have purchased here, you're going to have to wait a while for it to go back up and break even, right? And just to show you, things keep going sideways. And this leads me to rule number 2. You want to have a bit of data. So whether you start seeing a Williams trailing stops triangle, or whether you start seeing EMAs, this is additional data that you're going to get. Now, in this particular part of the training, I'm not going to be talking of the EMAs. I'm going to be talking about this in the next video. So for now, let's just focus on the first big candle that dumped and the sideways market that we're seeing in this example. So just to limit the confusion, I'm going to turn off my EMAs. As you can see, we're going sideways in this example. So what you want to do is grab the highest tipping point of your sideways market and the lowest tipping point and draw a little box. And you also want to draw a resistance line on the highest candle. Now in this example, as I was saying, this is the scenario where there's a big dump at the beginning and a ranging market that follows, right? Your resistance line needs to be, in this case, it's $5. And now my resistance line has been drawn. And now all I need to do is wait for a breakout. Now in this scenario, there's two places that you could actually enter and buy coins. Because we're ranging sideways and we're far from the resistance line that we drew, there's wiggle room here if we break out for you to make a little profit, right? Now, obviously, you're not going to get 10x from this, but I still wanted to show it to you so that you understand that in this scenario, you could actually enter twice. So let's assume that we break out to the upside. Okay, so what you're going to want to see is a candle, whether it's green or red, to close on top of your box. Okay, no matter where it is, you know, like it could also be later here, you know, you never know, right? But what you want to wait for is a candle, whether it's red or green, to close on top of your box. And once you see this, that's when you're going to want to buy coins and take profit just before we hit your resistance line. So see, in this case, you would have made a 40% profit, which is still very good, right? So why would you exit before the resistance line? Simple, because things could hit the resistance line and go back down, right? So you want to take your profit before it hits the resistance line. So that's a little profit you could have made before we even have a true breakout. Now, the true breakout you're after, obviously, is when it hits above your resistance line, because that's your highest point. So if you have a candle that fully closes above your resistance line, you're going to want to buy some coins and let the coins go up. Now, one thing you need to understand, the longer the range, the bigger the breakout. Now, for sure, things could decide to go down, right? So this would not be a good time to buy, but what you're looking for is the breakout to the upside. This is where the money is in this example, because big dump, sideways market, breakout, boom, this is when it's going to hit. So I'm waiting that it breaks out here in this example. Now this is the rare coin, RARE. It's a new coin as I'm filming this video. As you can see, there hasn't been many days of data yet. We barely even have EMA data here. As you can see, the lines just started. So what I'm waiting for in this example is that it breaks out, because we're going sideways after a dump. So if we manage to break out from the original highest tipping point, then I know that it's going to go up. Now, obviously, it doesn't happen all the time. But if you put, for example, $100 on each of these coins, and one of these coins gets a 10x, it's going to cover a lot more than all the other ones you may have lost along the way. But bottom line, if you get a big dump, it goes sideways, and it ends up breaking out from the original highest point, that's when you want to put a bit of money on that coin. So now that you understand this scenario, please move on to the next part of the training.